obnoxious. They always eating burgers. They always holding shotguns.
Americans are really stupid.
If we divide them based on geography, we get this.
Somebody forgot to include Mr. America.
Fine, you can have Japan. That way you'll at least be staying out of Europe.
Old Japan. Let's find out where that is. It's not on the map.
Typical American.
Americans are not necessarily stupid. Americans are ignorant. There's a difference. Every country has its stupid people. America's no different. We have lots of really stupid people to the point that a lot of Americans complain. It's painfully bad. I look at some things that other Americans say and do, and my head literally hurts because of the stupid. That being said, not all Americans are stupid. For me, I consider stupid to be not knowing something, but not caring to know. Which has different levels, I say. Like, I'm not a politician. I don't care for politics. I don't know a lot about politics, and I don't want to know. Maybe that makes me stupid in politics. Well, fine. I'm quite happy to be stupid in politics right now. Yet, if I am not aware of something and I don't want to know, then I stay ignorant, and I willingly do so. But speaking of stereotypes, it's like this. I want you to correct what our stereotypes are. I am asking you things, and I'm not stupid because I don't know. If I don't ask, then I'm stupid. If I just believe the stereotypes and don't ask, then I am stupid. But if I ask, I am not stupid. I am trying to educate myself. I'm trying to dispel the stupidity. The only way to really gain knowledge is to ask. Ask questions. And be open to an answer. That's the other option. I have seen people ask questions but will not accept any answer except the one they have preconceived. A lot of this is normally of a religious nature, but we're not touching on that. Everyone in the United States is rich!
Oh, there's only one thing better than owning a vault full of cold, hard cash, and that's swimming in it. I love to dive around in it like a porpoise, and burrow through it like a gopher, and toss it up and let it hit me on the head.
Growing up, I have heard the old saying, America, the United States of America is the land of opportunity. It's the land where dreams come true and the streets are paved with gold. It's not like that. Now, let me say that a lot of people have come over here and have made very well for themselves. They have come over here and opened businesses, they have raised families, and they have done rather well for themselves, improving conditions in their lives that were poor wherever they came from. This can happen to Americans as well. A poor American can rise to become a not-so-poor American. They can open their own businesses. They can have their big companies. It is possible. Anything is possible. And the hope that things can be possible is a lot of what drives us. But no, we are not all rich. We are a very rich country. But the people in the country are not rich. There are a lot of celebrities. They are rich. There are a lot of politicians. They are rich. There are people who have landed really good jobs in big companies and corporations. A lot of them are rich or are in the upper middle class. So it is possible to do well here in the United States. But money is always something that we are striving to get. A lot of Americans are making very poor money. A lot of Americans are falling below the poverty line in America. I think it's like $40,000 or $50,000 a year is considered average. It's considered the right above the poverty line. If you make that or more, you can probably live comfortably, in theory. A lot of Americans actually make less than $30,000 a year. I have never made over that. I have never even made $30,000 a year. I am lucky if I have ever seen $12,000 a year. I have never made more than $10,000 a year. And no matter what job I have, that is pretty much standard for me. I was lucky to make $9,000 a year. That was working a full 40 hours, a full-time job, and not even making minimum wage. I was making above minimum wage. And I still came up way below the poverty line. But I worked very hard, and I was actually able to purchase my own car, pay my own insurance, pay my own bills. But a lot of people are living on government assistance. In fact, the apartment I live in is government assistance. It is government housing. It goes by what we make, not an actual rent. And we don't make a lot, so the rent is low. Luckily. Most of my jobs are that I have worked in the past have been minimum wage jobs. And that has pretty much meant that I made, if I was lucky, $7,000 to $8,000 a year. Of course, this is all like after taxes. You have tons of taxes taken out. So yeah, and I am not in a minority. I am actually in the majority. Even people who have college educations are not making good money. Everyone is making really, really poor money. Now, in some places, people are making good money. It really depends where you are living. I live in the country, and there are not a whole lot of jobs. A lot of the jobs that were here are no longer here. A lot of places have gone out of business, and a lot of factories that used to be here are no longer here. They've gone to other countries. So the people who had those jobs no longer have those jobs. So when big jobs open up, people flood to them in hopes of making comfortable money. I actually do not understand the people who live in the city who are able to buy big fancy cars and go shopping in the big fancy brand name stores and all that stuff, who can walk around with tons of bags. I've never been able to do that, ever. I've never known anyone who's ever been able to do that. You see it on the movies all the time. And there are people who can do it. There are people in California, New York, and Texas, and I think Chicago, which is in Illinois. The big countries, Atlanta. Big countries. Did I say countries? Big cities. Big cities. Sorry. Big cities in the States. It's not always what you know. What you know is very important, but it's always the where you are and who you know. Keep that in mind. So no, we are not rich as people. We are a rich country, but not a rich people. We spend more money on our military than all of the countries in the world put together. You'd think soldiers make good money, but they don't. Soldiers make pitiful money. We don't know where the money is. We don't know where the money goes. We never see it. It's apparently here, but we don't see it. So that's probably treading into some political territory, so we're not going to get into that. So just know that just because we live in America does not mean we make fantastic money. Not everybody has a good job. No, we do not have a lot of money. Some people do. Like I said, a lot of people do live comfortably. And I admire those people because I've never been able to do it. I've never been able to make that kind of money. The portion sizes of food in restaurants is huge. When we spend our money, we want to get the most for our dollar. We are definitely a kind of country that wants to pay less for more. I never really thought of it until I started hearing people from other countries mention it. And it makes me wonder if I'd ever be full if I went to another country. If I went to visit you guys, would I actually be full or would I be hungry in 10 minutes? If portion sizes are not good, if we are not satisfied when we leave, we will not go back to that restaurant. We want to be full. And when we say full, you have two kinds of full. You have, I'm full, meaning I'm not hungry anymore, and in 10 minutes I can probably go jogging. I am full enough to be sustained, and I can go do something right after. There's that kind of full, which is probably the healthier one. Most Americans, when we are full, we want to be feast full. We want to be so full that we can probably go home and take a nap. And we are not going to always finish what we get in the restaurants. In fact, a lot of Americans enjoy having more than we can eat at the restaurants because we like to bring home leftovers. It means we don't have to cook. It means if we are hungry, all we got to do, pull out the box, throw it in the microwave, heat it up, eat it. Simple. We love convenience. I know me personally, I love having stuff to take home because it means that later on at night I don't have to cook anything. I just grab something to eat that I've already had earlier. We do something called a doggy bag. It's called a doggy bag. I don't know if y'all have that there, but it's called doggy bag because people used to take their scraps home to feed their dogs. And people still do. When I worked as a dishwasher, I would have to bust tables, clean the tables off sometimes when it got to a certain degree of busy. People would want to have the scraps left over on their plates and sometimes other people's plates, which was kind of gross. But they took them home in doggy bags specifically for their dogs. The dogs would eat the food and they'd chew on the bone. Now, we also take home food for ourselves in the doggy bags. So that's why it's just called doggy bag. It doesn't necessarily mean the food's for the dog, but you basically just take what's left over and put it in the box and take it home, stick it in the refrigerator, but yes, our portion sizes are large. And as far as in the home, as far as just like, a portion size of this or a serving size of this is so much. Our serving sizes are actually really small. What you see is not necessarily a portion. It's not a portion size. And it's not a serving size. It's what we want to eat. Unless you are a very health conscious, dieting, super by the book nutrition buff, most likely you don't follow the portion sizes. You will eat until you're full. Portion of a side dish like mashed potatoes might be about maybe this big. That's about a portion size. We're not going to eat that. We're going to eat something a little bigger. A portion of meat is probably about maybe this big. Maybe smaller. We're going to want a nice big steak. We're not going to finish that sucker, but we're going to try. So that's kind of how that works. We like our food, and we don't necessarily care. Some people do. A lot of people do care about the portion sizes. But portion sizes are huge in restaurants because Americans in general, when we go out to eat or when we're eating in general, we don't care what the proper portion size is. We want to be full.